Hi everybody, I'm Egert in Shakopee, and you are about to meet a pretty amazing little boy. In fact, I'm certain you'll fall in love with him, and you'll also fall in love with the organization that's helping him. That's coming up. We're headed across the border on the morning show. Watch Thursday as we take a day trip to River Falls. Australians are celebrating this morning as the country's international borders reopened just a few hours ago for the first time in 20 months.
Yeah, this means that fully vaccinated Australians can leave without a special exemption from the government and would not face a quarantine when arriving.
A little bit scary and exciting. I've come home to see my mum because she's not well. So it's all anxious and excitement, and I love her heaps, and I can't wait to see her.
The atmosphere on the aircraft, it was like pre-COVID. We all got on board the aircraft, we all did what we used to do, and it was just outstanding.
Now, initially, only Australian residents and citizens will be free to enter the country, but the government does expect that Australia will welcome back international tourists to some degree before the end of the year.
Happening today, the Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments on the controversial abortion law recently enacted in Texas. The right to an abortion is not directly at issue in either of the two cases being argued, but rather the court will decide whether abortion providers or the federal government can sue in federal court over the Texas law. The Texas law has been in effect since September and bans abortions after a heartbeat is detected in the fetus, which is usually at about 6 weeks into pregnancy. Now, the way it's designed, private citizens enforce the law, not state officials, which makes it difficult to challenge.
It is Wednesday. It is November 3rd. We are welcoming you to this fine morning here on Minnesota Live. Happy you're along with us.
That's Megan Newquist. I'm Egert. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. Local elections in a non-presidential year don't usually get a whole lot of attention. Yeah. That was not the case last night in Minnesota. The policing question on the ballot in Minneapolis failed. We are waiting on some more results in the mayor's race. We don't think that's going to come in the next hour or so, but if it does, we've definitely got you covered.
Absolutely. We also mentioned that we have lots of food to talk about today, and that is because really, what goes better with a late night election than pizza, right?
I've heard. I mean, we don't know on the morning shift because it all gets consumed.
There was some cold stuff. You didn't grab any this morning?
Oh, gosh darn it. No,
you got in at 3?
I missed that.
Today is the last day of voting early in this year's election, and with that, efforts to sway voters on key ballot measures are really ramping up.
So that includes the question in Minneapolis whether the city should replace its police department with a Department of Public Safety. While the movement has support, others say they are concerned about how it would impact the ability to address violent crime. We have team coverage for you this morning, breaking down both sides of the issue. Jenna Rowe has what some Minneapolis residents are saying.
But we first turn to our Andrea Lyon with the leader of the Minneapolis Firefighters Union and why he is asking voters to say no to ballot question 2. Andrea.
The St. Paul City Council has passed sweeping changes to tobacco regulations within the city limits. It will limit tobacco licenses available in the city to 150, set a $10 minimum price for packs of cigarettes, ban the sales of menthol tobacco products in liquor stores, and ban discounts or coupons for both tobacco and vaping products. The ordinance, which is one of the strictest in the country, is expected to go into effect on December 3rd. The chair of the testimony in the homicide trial of Kyle Rittenhouse picks back up this morning. The 18-year-old is charged in the shooting deaths of 2 men and harming a third during protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year. On Wednesday, a police detective took the stand saying that Rittenhouse shouted "friendly" while being chased by one of the men that he eventually shot and killed. Video of the deadly shootings took center stage in court with Rittenhouse showing no emotion to jurors. Prosecutors have been portraying Rittenhouse as the instigator, while the defense has said he was acting in self-defense. We wanted to know why folks like you watch the morning show.
So many people watching this. This is so unprecedented that it'll be interesting to see where we are tomorrow morning at this time.
Absolutely.
Or if we'll be anywhere tomorrow morning at this time. Do you think we'll have a decision on question 2?
I would think so,
okay.
Because unlike the mayoral and the city council, which is ranked choice voting, there should be a clear outcome by, this evening sometime.
Okay, Joel, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, in addition to public safety, there are 2 other key ballot questions this year for Minneapolis voters. Question 1, and again, this plays into ballot question 2, is the strong mayor amendment. Voting yes would consolidate administrative authority and shift some of the powers from the city council to the mayor. Question 2 is the public safety question we were just talking about with Joe and Jenna. And question 3 is rent control. Voting yes would allow the city council to enact rent control measures in the future or put a specific rent control ordinance on a future ballot. Minneapolis residents will also have to elect their city leaders, including mayor. There are 17 candidates to choose from, including incumbent Jacob Fry. Every seat on the Minneapolis City Council is also up for election. Only 2 current members are not seeking election. That's Ward 9's Alondra Cano and Ward 10's Lisa Bender, who is also the council president.
Thank you. Now, we are getting reaction this morning after Minneapolis voters rejected replacing the police department with a Department of Public Safety.
In a statement, the group who campaigned against the plan, called All of Minneapolis, says in part, quote, Minneapolis voters have made clear that they want a planful approach to transforming policing and public safety in our city that includes meaningful consultation with the communities most impacted by violence and over-policing. Yes for Minneapolis is the group that was behind the charter question. They gathered signatures to get the issue to voters, saying that their focus was on a comprehensive public health approach. The group vowed to fight on at their watch party last night once the vote was called.
The people need to have a real, substantial conversation about what keeps them safe. Public safety does not equal police. Police do not equal public safety. Full stop.
The State Police Association told us in a statement, quote, this should be a wake-up call to politicians who want to simply abolish and defund police departments. Let's work together for increased safety for all, instead of pursuing reckless policies which only empower criminals.
And now to the big night for supporters of rent control.
Measures passed in Minneapolis and St. Paul, but they asked voters different questions. Matt Belanger's here now with a look at the results and the reaction to these final tallies. Matt.
Hi, Christian, Megan. Good morning.
We are bringing some cheese to the morning show.
We do want to bring you up to date now on the election. There are some races that are still undecided this morning across the state.
In Minneapolis, today could be a big day for incumbent Mayor Jacob Fry, who holds a significant lead among a crowd of 17 candidates. The race for Minneapolis mayor, though, still undecided. This is a look at the first choice votes. Mayor Fry has 31,000 more votes than his closest runner-up. Although because no one broke through the 50%, ranked choice voting now takes effect.
So voters have agreed with the mayor on one of the biggest issues that he campaigned against. The push to remove the city's police department and replace it with a new Department of Public Safety failed. The measure lost by nearly 18,000 votes, or roughly 12%. But we do have team coverage of the election results for you. Matt Belanger is tracking some victories for renters here in the Twin Cities.
But first, Andrea Lyon joins us live from Minneapolis with more on the ongoing race for mayor. Andrea. Now at 6:30, it is the last day to vote early ahead of Election Day, with a massive decision looming on public safety in Minneapolis.
Help us help you. Vote no on question 2.
Why the union representing the city's firefighters is speaking out against the controversial proposal, and the response from those hoping for change.
And with voters preparing to head to the polls, that proposal is sparking many conversations across the city.
I don't believe that they're here to protect me.
Why some community members support the measure while others are on the opposite side.
Plus, the Vikings lose despite playing at home against a team starting a backup quarterback.
To have a loss like this, it's really a heartbreaking thing.
See what went wrong after a fast start and what the team's saying about moving on with another tough game ahead.
And later, with Halloween over, some Minnesotans are already looking ahead to Christmas. A look at the work underway on a big holiday light show. 5 Eyewitness News starts right now.
I'm not sure I'm into this Christmas talk already.
What's the countdown? You usually have it up for us.
I'm not really thinking about it.
I looked. It's like 54 days or something, right?
Jeez, Louise.
I think that's about it.
Yep.
Jeez.
I can't believe I looked, and I was going to yell it over to you, but you guys were talking. I didn't want to interrupt, like I always do.
True, because I'm sure we were solving
Very
some
important
really
stuff.
important world problems over
54 days. So, yeah. Eric just told me in my ear. I don't know if he told you guys. Or is that voice I always get?
No, we were getting the voice too.
Okay, good. I was going to call my doctor.
Megan and Chris, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
I see you grabbed some coffee to go. How do you take it?
This is a honey latte.
Oh, honey, sweet, just like you, right? Mine's black.
I gotta ask, how many cups do you have each morning?
I just do the one.
I have about 12.
So I hear you have some exciting news to share.
How would you know about that?
Oh, I have my sources.
Let's just tell them. 9 a.m., Chris and I are going to be starting a brand new show called Minnesota Live.
Minnesota Live, baby. What's that all about? You're probably asking yourself. Well, I could bore you with the details.
Let's not.
Like I do. Or I could just show you.
Live, showcasing all of Minnesota to you with Megan Newquist and Chris Egert. This is Minnesota Live.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, from Bemidji to Blaine, Wheaton to Wabasha, Minnesota Live is going to cross the entire state, and we are going to showcase the people and the places that really make Minnesota the best place to live. We start with a look at what is trending, though, this morning. Joining us now with 3 state parks worth the trip no matter where you live. Hi, Bailey.
You know, the North Shore parks get a lot of the attention, especially when folks are coming up to Duluth. Maybe they want to take a day trip up the shore. You hear about Split Rock, you hear about Gooseberry, but there's really some awesome hidden gems that are about the same distance from Duluth. You just have to go in a different direction.
We have the perfect guy here with advice, our garden expert, Larry Farr. And arugula. That's good on a sandwich.
It's very good. Good on a salad,
well, if my wife's making the sandwich, it's not going to be on my sandwich.
Yeah.
No greens on my sandwiches.
Okay.
I know you wanted to know that.
Today's Soda Social asks for your favorite gardens around the state. And Erin sent us this video of her twin aunt's garden.
This is Minnesota Live.
Wow, that looks fun.
Minnesota Live, it's like getting coffee with a friend.
We're going to have a smart conversation. We're going to discuss topics that we don't generally have time to on the news. And hopefully you'll walk away a little more informed.
When you think of Minnesota Live, what words come to mind? Chris?
Smart.
Megan?
Easy.
Chris?
Minnesota?
Let's hope Minnesota's in the name.
All right, well, I think we got to go in and do a show or something now.
Yeah, it's time to get ready for the show, I bet. Good to see you.
You too, Minnesota Live, 9 a.m. weekdays. We'll see ya.